What's going on, guys? It's your boy Khryptic, and we're back for the first KMTV video of 2021. May this year be a fruitful one for us all, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to do an end of year recap video at the end of the year, but I was very busy working on a tune which had a tight deadline, which I've managed to finish, so this is why I'm banging out these videos now. As part of the review, I wanted to give a little bit of background about my channel and how it came about, because there is a bit of confusion with it being a music channel and with me covering all sorts of mad topics. So let me just break that down for you. Last year, I started making my first YouTube videos. I had intentions to do all sorts of videos like DJ mixes, tutorials, all manner of music related stuff, all kind of random shit really. I did a Donald Trump remix parody video on there. If you go to my earlier videos, you'll see that it's a completely different channel, what it was then to what it is now, but it's all part of the journey, isn't it, I suppose. Then in January 2020, I had a bit of a strange encounter with West Yorkshire Police where they basically came to my property and they suspected me of growing cannabis. I didn't like the way they conducted themselves at all in that encounter, so I put a complaint in. They subsequently lied about what happened. I've got full evidence to prove it, and I'm going to do a follow-up video showing you that, because I did initially release a video about what happened when they turned up at my door. I also did a follow-up video to that video, but to be honest, I put them both on private because I weren't happy with the videos themselves. Yeah, I could do better. They were a bit more of an emotional reaction rather than professional, do you know what I mean? So I took them down. But I definitely will do a story detailing what happened, my complaint, and how they reacted to it, including the fact that I said I had evidence to prove that two of the two officers that made the statements had actually lied about most of their statements, and they didn't even ask to hear it. So their whole complaints procedure is completely useless, it's not fit for purpose, and it's designed to protect the police officers. But we already knew that all along, didn't we, I suppose? I'm also going to talk about how the ICO are pretty much useless as well, and how the ICO are potentially corrupt because they're happy to threaten small businesses with fines, but they're too scared to force West Yorkshire Police to deliver a DSI request on time. I will cover that at some point in the future. So anyway, I digress. I had that encounter with West Yorkshire Police. I went through the whole process, and then that left a pretty bitter taste in my mouth, and to be honest, quite a resentment towards corrupt police. So that visit to my house in January changed the whole course of my YouTube channel, and I just decided to go with it. Then in September 2020, I created a new channel called Khryptic Media TV, which was designed to cover all manner of noteworthy topics like global news, geopolitics, history, alternate media, eschatology, to name a few. The reason for me wanting to cover these topics is I believe them to be crucial topics that are often getting overlooked in mainstream media, facts that are either getting unreported or distorted. Also, when you take an individual story, sometimes you can't see the direct link until you compare it to another event that has taken place. For example, it might have been a historical event that has affected a political decision later on down the line. If I was to limit my videos to one particular genre, you won't get the full picture. As a more applicable example on my channel, as I'm researching these police corruption stories, I'm finding that a lot of this police corruption stems from governmental policy. So it's important to try and tie the two together. Now for me, the ideal scenario as a content creator is to try and relay an accurate depiction of what's actually going on. And, you know, we might have to jump down a few rabbit holes to get there, which in itself is quite challenging now, especially in what I would call the current climate of social media, where sometimes you put a post on Facebook, sometimes you do a video on YouTube. Due to the nature of the topics you're talking about, it gets taken down because it breaches what's called community guidelines. Now, these community guidelines can be quite vague. For example, YouTube cited I was breaching community guidelines, yeah, or something of that nature, but they didn't actually specify what element of what sentence breached what particular guideline. So really, you're kind of left guessing about what you should even talk about, which is not ideal at all, really, if you try to give someone the full picture of a story when you're trying to give context to the audience. So every so often at the end of a video you might hear me say, I'm not going to insert my opinion, guys, I'm going to leave it to you in the comment section, just to see whether or not I'm going to take it down based on the content that I'm relaying, which is available on the public domain. It's one Google search away, or if it's because I'm putting my opinion in at the end, and if YouTube are thinking that I'm trying to sway the audience or something like that. It'd be interesting to find out why my videos are getting taken down. There's nothing more irritating than spending hours on a video only to get it taken down and not being told why. So I hope this video didn't completely bore the shit out of you. The first video 2021 and all that. Sorry guys, I just had to get that out of the way. Hopefully I managed to clear up a little bit of confusion. And also, as I said in my channel trailer, in terms of what you can expect content wise going forward, expect variety. I'm going to be experimenting with different themes, different types of videos, i.e. comedy, i.e. health and fitness, anything that takes my fancy that I feel may be useful or entertaining to you guys. As always, I just want to thank the subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We're only growing and I'd love to have you on board. Join me on the next video. I'll jump straight into one of these stories, guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you all soon.